Do you believe in lizard people?
No, I don't believe in lizard people.
I was in bed with a woman, right? And I'm looking at her face. Her face turned into what I could only describe as a reptilian. She looks at me and she says, I'm not a reptilian. Boom!
In my 20s, I thought it was ridiculous.
The reptilians were the natives of this planet. And back during the first ice age, they went underground. And that's how they ended up surviving.
I thought it was ridiculous. I saw all of the footage.
I met 12 separate people that told me the same story, which is of seeing someone, apparently human, who changed into a reptilian figure.
The devil has to tell you what he's going to do before he does it. That way you have no excuse. All the ignorant people that just completely are oblivious to it, well, you're shit out of luck.
What's your problem? I said, what's your problem?
I think that is mind-blasting.
You mean mind-blowing? No. Anything can blow your mind. This blasted my mind. It was...
So don't let lizards up top that don't belong divide all the humans so we can...
Do you believe in lizard people?
No, I don't believe in lizard people.
I believe in lizard people.
Why do you believe in lizard people?
Let me tell you this, right?
Yeah.
Take of this what you like.
Yep.
I was in bed with a woman, right? I'm lying on the pillow and I'm looking at her face, right? Her face turned into what I could only describe as a reptilian.
Oh, is it?
My face went, oh my God. She looks at me and she says, I'm not a reptilian. Boom! Make of that what you will. That's what happened.
Crazy. What the hell? Do you believe him? That's an elaborate story. Like, you know?
Well, at first when it was first presented to me in my 20s, I thought it was ridiculous.
The reptilians were the natives of this planet. And back during the first ice age, they went underground. And that's how they ended up surviving. So the Galactic Federation knew that this was indeed their planet. So they made a compromise with these reptilians. And they said, okay, we recognize that this is your planet. As long as you stay here, but you're not seen, you go back underground, we'll allow you to be here. So half the reptilians left off this planet. The other half stayed. And they went back into their tunnels, they went back into inner Earth, they went back underground. And eventually the reptilians started meshing their DNA with our DNA.
And whereas thou sawest iron mixed with miry clay, they shall mingle themselves with the seed of men. They shall mingle themselves with the seed of men. But they shall not cleave one to another, even as iron is not mixed with clay.
They started to be able to shapeshift into us. They abided by the law. They definitely weren't seen by us, but they were still always in control, and I still believe to this day they're in control.
I don't know how old you are, but in my 20s and even in my 30s, early 30s at least, I thought it was ridiculous. I saw all of the footage, but I didn't believe it.
Reptilians feed off our fear, isn't it true?
The Greys do and the Orions do. Reptilians tend to live off flesh. That's not an area I like to go into much. But according to the anomalies, the last 25 years, the reptilians that are on the planet are responsible for over 30,000 children disappearing. I get in a lot of trouble when I talk in close circles about this.
This is what I'm saying, like, this sort of, like, it's so horrible to think about, and the more I've looked into this over the years, the more I've sort of become to realise that there are dark areas of the world, and this is tapping into that area, and I don't like it.
Human race is being misled by alien life forms who have come here from another place, who are smarter than we are, technologically superior, just way down the road, smarter than you'll ever be. And they know how to run civilizations, and they know how to start religions and governments. They call the shots because they have powers we don't have. Human sacrifice is a very powerful, real, legitimate, not of this world magic. And those people who are running Hollywood are connected to things you don't know anything about. And they have the power now to manipulate the world with motion pictures and television.
Who's orchestrating that in Hollywood?
All of that is being orchestrated out of Hollywood, but it's not because these people are so clever and resourceful and talented. No, they are connected to a power that is not of this world.
But can we put a name to that higher power?
Well, I call it the spirit world.
Is that the Archons?
Yeah, the Archons. Yeah.
And the Muslims call them the jinn?
Yeah, that's exactly right, the jinns. And the Christians call them demons and devils. The Jews call them a different name.
So they are spirit beings?
Yes, they're spirit beings. And they're
not physical?
Not physical. They're spirit beings. They can work through reptilians.
And some reptilians and other alien species are physical and some are non-physical.
That's exactly right. But you need to understand that there is all over the earth a domination of humans by extraterrestrial or other world entities that you can't see.
But then the Epstein files came out. And when the Epstein files came out, it was a huge confirmation.
I saw Epstein shift in front of my eyes. It was very, very frightening. It was like a weird hologram, and it had like big black eyes. It was like reptilian, draconian, alien sort of thing. And it's just something that I had to explain to myself because I saw him turn into something. You know, it's not an easy thing to talk about because I can understand that a lot of people wouldn't understand it if they haven't seen it. But I saw it. And, you know, I'd like to be lie detected on it. I'd actually love to be lie detected on it.
Jesus, man, what the hell?
But then I started seeing all of this other footage of testimonies of people running into these lizard people.
I met 12 separate people that told me the same story, which is of seeing someone, apparently human, who changed into a reptilian figure in front of their eyes and then went back again. And I was turning as I was speaking. And as I turned, all I could hear was, and I turned around and she's holding her chest. She said, my God, I wasn't going to tell you about that. She said, I thought even you would think I'm crazy. And she tells me this story. She said, what happened was she went out one night and she's walking through the forest and she saw a light. She said, so I walked through the trees quietly and I looked through where the light, she said, and there was this ring of people wearing robes. She said, and the person conducting the ritual in his robe was Ted Heath. She said, and standing next to him was a guy called Anthony Barber, who was Heath's the Chancellor of the Exchequer. He was Prime Minister at the time she had this experience. And she said, I'm looking. I said, I was shocked, obviously, but I'm looking. And she said, suddenly, Heath shifted into a reptilian form and grew about 2 feet. Now, that is an absolutely common theme I've heard all over the world, that when they shift into a reptilian form, they get taller and bigger. Because that's the real entity behind the human facade, you see. What shocked me more than anything is the rest of the ring didn't react. It was like it was the most natural thing ever. It wasn't like, oh my God, what's that? No, everyone stayed calm. Like, oh yeah, this is what happens.
Sleeping with lizard people.
She looks at me and she says, I'm not a reptilian. Boom! Make of that what you will. That's what happened.
I don't know what service he was in, if he was Army, Marines, or whatever, but he went on a press conference and talked about a human face mask with lizard scale print on the inside of it. Now, he did not make any conclusions because I know nothing, but he was simply providing the actual data.
Showed us the shoebox. He had the pictures of people being executed, but he also had a mask in the shoebox, and he pulled this mask out, and the mask was a human face, but the human face had the eyes in it, and it was warm, and the back of the mask had an imprint that looked like scales. So this was very bizarre, and the eyes on the back of the side of the mask were not for my eyes, I know that. So it was something that I'm a firm believer in Socrates' principles of true wisdom comes from knowing that I know nothing. I don't know what that mask belonged to. I don't know if it was alien or a race that's maybe been on the planet since prehistoric eras or some secret government project. But I do know that was much more advanced than any technology I had ever seen. I don't think we could have reproduced that. I don't know how it was made. It was basically a living mask.
And all of these different data points with Queen Elizabeth, there is an official post from the royal kingdom, whatever.
Queen seen by her subjects in a different form. The Queen has ruled for longer than any other monarch in British history, becoming a much loved and respected figure across the globe. Her extraordinary reign has seen her travel more widely than any other monarch, undertaking many historic overseas visits. Known for her sense of duty and her devotion to a life of service, she has been an important figurehead for the UK and the Commonwealth during times of enormous social change. Earlier this week, the Queen was seen by thousands of people in a form they are not well acquainted with. We seek to reassure the public that the Queen is still their Queen and remains the respected and loved figure they have always known. While she may not be human, she is a devoted leader and monarch, and she believes her subjects will grow to accept her and her family for what they are. I pay tribute to the commitment, selfless devotion, and generosity of spirit shown by my millions of human subjects, and I fully expect them to digest this news in a mature and humble fashion. Nothing has changed. Together, we shall march on. The fact that they just openly admitted that and posted that online is insane. And Princess Diana was saying that all along. And that may be what caused the end of her. A lot of people believe that. Now, I'm not going to say on here exactly what people think she is. I think you all already know that. But do you think that it's true?
That posted about an event where a large audience witnessed Queen Elizabeth in a different form. And so they addressed it and then they quickly took it down. But they were saying that she's been a wonderful monarch, and though she's not a human, she still loves her human subjects. So we got so many different data points that point to that. But then go back to Genesis 3:15. And I will put enmity between your seed and her seed. The serpent will have seed, and his seed roam this earth. We're not just talking about spiritual or metaphorical children of the devil. We're talking about actual children of the devil roaming this earth in disguise. I don't know if you've ever heard of the movie Among Us, but they have to tell us. It's part of the order. The devil has to tell you what he's going to do before he does it. That way you have no excuse. All the ignorant people that just completely are oblivious to it, well, you're shit out of luck.
What's your problem?
My people are destroyed for lack of knowledge, because thou hast rejected knowledge. I will also reject thee, that thou shalt be no priest to me. Seeing that thou hast forgotten the law of thy God, I will also forget thy children.
I said, what's your problem?
That's why God said, my people perish for a lack of knowledge, Connor. There's so many things that you just don't know yet.
Yeah, no, it's a known fact that you know less than you think when it comes to a lot of things.
No, it's true, man. The more I learn, it's like, shit, I don't know anything, man. But I know what I know. And I'll talk about what I know. I won't ever pull things out of my ass and pretend and fake it till I make it. If I don't know, I'll be honest. That's why the last live was cut short, because when he asked me to give him the exact quote, I didn't know the exact quote. So I said, let me consult ChatGPT. And this Donovan young buck wanted to be passive aggressive and said that I didn't know what I'm talking about.
I mean, bro, can you just say the quote and then mute up? I just want to hear it one more time.
Well, if we're going to hear it one more time, let me get ChatGPT in it. Hold on a second.
Can you not think for yourself? You just claimed to know it.
Alright, well, get the f*** out, kid. Every hero lives long enough to see themselves become the villain. Got all disrespectful at the end, man. Oh, it's from The Dark Knight. You either die a hero or you live long enough to see yourself become the villain. That's what I was quoting from Harvey Dent. But I'm not going to quote a second time without getting the actual quote. That's just not good. I don't want to give wrong information when I have the opportunity to give it again. If he's asking me for the actual quote, well then I don't know the actual quote. It's better for me to get it from the source. Wouldn't you agree, Connor?
Yeah, I guess that goes with just about anything. Better straight from the source than adulterated or...
Yeah, that is true. And I would, just to kind of introduce an interesting path in this conversation, the same thing can be said for different religions or belief systems or different gods where they originally came from, such as...
Hold up, time out, Gavin.
Yeah.
What do you think about the Bible? Richard wants me to ask.
I think there's a lot of things in there that man can learn from. There's a lot of things in there that officially give strength to law, which otherwise may not have existed without. As a whole, I think the book is fairly well put together. I'm not entirely sure about if everything was put in the correct order or not, but I do think that it's a good piece of ancient machinery, I guess you could say it.
Okay, so you acknowledge there are a lot of great things that come from the Bible. You acknowledge that, at least when it comes to the United States, was founded on principles from the Bible. We're talking about 66 books with over 40 different authors in 3 different languages all around the world. Well, not all around the world, primarily in a certain part of the world, but...
Yeah, New Testament was primarily written in Greek.
Correct, yes. So you got Greek, Hebrew, and Aramaic.
Latin would have been mainly. Aramaic is only small passages in the Old Testament.
Yeah, but regardless, you got all of this over the span of 1500 years. You and I are existing in the same timeline, but to find 66 books scattered out through different points in time, and then you still have over 65,000 cross-references that can cross between them all, I think that is mind-blasting.
Your show last night, your show, Russell, too good. Too good. Fantastic. The show was fantastic. Russell, your show was mind-blasting. Mind-blasting. You mean mind-blowing? No. Anything can blow your mind. This blasted my mind. It was
mind-blasting.
Do you observe the Book of Enoch? You know, first Enoch, second Enoch, and third?
No, only the first. Enoch 2 and 3 are products of the 3rd and 4th century. So I don't agree with any of that. In fact, I don't agree with everything in Enoch 1 because not everything was written by Enoch. I only agree with the parts that Enoch actually wrote.
What's with the NPCs that reject these conspiracies? So buy all the industries, yet so blind.